The Eagles are back again today to give a chance to those they deem worthy of the ultimate prize to export their products and services beyond the borders of Zimbabwe.
Hi, my name is Leanne Shaniwa. I'm the founder and head of operations for Maintain Organics, a hair care company that produces hair products for natural hair using ingredients that are sourced here locally or around Africa. We did some research and we found that almost 80% of the products that you find on the local market have ingredients that are not necessarily beneficial for natural hair or that are potentially damaging to natural hair. And 15% of the products that you actually see on the market for natural hair are imported and expensive. So the problem became clear. How do we create products for natural hair using ingredients that are found here locally and around Africa? So this is how we came about Maintain Organics products. So what we've done is we've created products around key ingredients like the marula, honey and marula shampoo, honey and marula range. It is centered around the marula oil, which is an ingredient that is indigenous to Southern Africa. We find this ingredient here in Zimbabwe, which is found in areas like Chipinge and Binga, dry areas, which are actually part of the poorest areas in the country. So we actually collaborate with women and cooperatives in these areas for them to source seed, which is later on processed to create oils that we actually use in our value chain. We have about 30 SKUs, ranging from shampoos, conditioners, deep conditioners, styling products, oils, and hair food. We have the capacity of producing over 1,000 products each week. And of course, this is something that we can increase. Recently, in December, we were actually picked up and listed by the Pick n Pay stores. So you can actually now find some of these of our products in the Pick n Pay stores. And because of our relationship with Pick n Pay and how well we've actually been doing with the Pick n Pays, they have recommended us to the Pick n Pay branch in South Africa for them to pick us up and list our products there. So we're actually in negotiations and talks, and we're hoping at the end of it we'll be able to start exporting our products to Southern Africa. So some advice that I would have to someone who would like to become an entrepreneur or just start a business is start where you are with what you have. You don't have to wait for you to have so much money in your bank account or for you to get seed capital. Sometimes it's the small things that you do that actually get you to the finishing line. The most difficult thing for you to do is actually to start. So once you actually do one thing towards the goal, you've actually started to walk. Congratulations on everything that you've achieved so far and making it this far in the Eagle's Nest competition. My first question to you is, I would like to know how you intend on maintaining the supplies of your raw materials as you scale your business. Okay, in terms of, is it logistics or financially or all around?
I think in actual fact of sourcing the raw materials. You mentioned the marula plant, which you said grows in Chipinge and in Binga. How are you ensuring that you'll have enough of those natural oils to meet the demand of your product on the market?
Okay, so we actually partnered with an organization called Bio-Innovation. So they're the ones who are actually on the ground, who actually deal with the women in the cooperatives. They're the ones who actually make sure they're sourcing all the seeds from the ladies, and then they process it into the final product, which is the marula oil. So they're actually a big company which actually exports some of their oils and some of their materials. So they do actually have the capacity to be able to supply us with even growing amounts.
Yeah. Hi, Leanne. Well done on your presentation. I have no doubt that you have a great product. I've heard great reviews about it. My major concern is on packaging and design. Your product will sit next to, international brands, well-designed packaging, foiled, sealed, etc. What's your plan towards, improving on the packaging? Because when I look at it, I see a lot of text and very little design. And for me, I think when you're walking through the aisle of a store, you want something that just catches your eye instantly, that you can read clearly, and that you can pick up instantly.
Okay. So actually, one of the workshops we attended that ZimTrade facilitated was a packaging workshop, and we actually did learn a lot in terms of how to package our product. And they did bring up that issue of, your product has to be eye-catching and the amount of text. So that's actually a process that we are doing right now to be able to limit the amount of text, especially in the front of the product, because there still is information that we are required to put on the product, things like ingredients, how to use the products. But of course, as you stipulated, you still do need a product that is eye-catching and that is not too busy. So we actually have engaged a graphic designer who's working on adjusting and remodifying our packaging so that it's not too busy and it doesn't look like so much is happening.
All right. And in terms of the actual packaging, are you looking at getting customized shapes, customized bottling, customized lids to make your product more unique?
Yes, definitely. When we started off, that was one of the issues that we had, that, we would engage local suppliers and manufacturers of packaging, and, they'll tell us, we need a minimum of maybe 10,000 for you to be able to create a mold. And, when you're starting off, it was expensive. For a small business, it was expensive, and it was going to be us having to invest a lot of money in packaging that was just going to be sitting. So we weren't ready to do that. But then obviously now, as we have scaled up, and because we are now supplying Pick n Pay, and which means obviously we have grown our capacity, we now are in a better place for us to engage local producers for packaging.
All right, thank you, Leanne.
Right, Leanne, congratulations. I'm very impressed with what you've managed to do without a lot of assistance, and you really seem like somebody who is determined to actually make your product be known. I just want to know, there's so many brands out there in the world. What is your unique selling proposition? What is it? Why should I choose your specific brand?
I think it's because of where I'm starting off. I started off as just a customer like you, a person with issues, trying to find products on the local market, trying to find something that actually works for our natural hair. And because I couldn't find anything that was on the market, I decided, let me formulate something. Let me actually get up in the kitchen, let me work with a couple of people so that we can come up with products that actually cater to us as Zimbabweans, us as Africans, and us also in terms of our weather.
I think I'm done, Leanne. You just need to, if you do continue on this, you really need to change your product in terms of what you've just been advised. But I think you're onto something, and definitely, if you put a lot of passion and the direction and the mentorship that you're getting with ZimTrade, I believe definitely you could be onto something and go on to the next round.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Do we assume that's a yes from you, George?
That's a definite yes from me.
Wisdom?
From me, Leanne, I'd like to see some gold foiling. I'd like to see some nice print. I'd like to see some a cool shape on your packaging, something that's unique to you, that represents your brand ethos, your direction.
But she did say that right now she doesn't have the funds to do
No.
10,000.
I'd like to see that.
I mean, where she is right now. I mean, she's
I'm
onto
looking
something.
forward to seeing that development.
Yeah, I mean that's going to take some time. But I think where she's at.
I'm looking forward to seeing that development.
Thank
the product,
you.
I have no doubt about its product quality. So for me, yes, I'd like to see you in the next round, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Leanne. It seems you are our leading lady for the day as our first participant into the next round. So congratulations
Great.
to you.
Great. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for your time.
Have a good day.
Thanks, Leanne.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Keith Chipudla and I'm the co-founder of VitaGrow. At VitaGrow, we practice hydroponic farming in the urban city of Harare. So the biggest problem I saw in the Zimbabwean market was the inability to find good, fresh and nice tasting produce on the market. Most suppliers are just interested in pushing volumes, but not so much on the taste. So at VitaGrow, we use less pesticides with a view to use none in the near future. And we also use a special blend of nutrient mix to ensure that all our crops are as healthy and tasty as can be for the customers. All our greenhouses use solar power, so we save energy. We recycle water, so we save water. We use less land, and we don't use any soil. That means we don't leach nutrients from the soil or soil erosion. And in terms of social impact, I've already started doing some training for a couple of people who've seen us online who have come through. But because of the COVID pandemic, unfortunately, we haven't kicked that off properly. But I can safely say I've trained about 4 people over the last few months about hydroponics. And also people in the community are always interested to come see what we are doing and see a new method of farming. So another big thing that VitaGrow is looking at is agrotech. So all our systems are controlled automatically, and we can control them on our phones using Wi-Fi wherever you are. They can irrigate by themselves. They can check the temperature, the humidity in the greenhouse, so that the guy on the ground can actually open or close the blinds. Currently, we have 2 sites. One in Westgate, the one we are at right now, with two by 120 square meter greenhouses. In one greenhouse, we have 500 English cucumbers, all running under hydroponics. And in this greenhouse, we've got 2,000 heads of lettuce and 100 red peppers and 100 yellow peppers, a bunch of herbs, and a bunch of microgreens. On our second site, which is in Vinona, we have now put up 1 greenhouse and already filled it up with hydroponic systems. So that's another 1,000 heads of lettuce and also 200 English cucumbers. So the new site, with a view for July, we are going to add another 5 greenhouses, bringing our grand total of greenhouses to 7. All our greenhouses use solar power, so we save energy. We recycle water, so we save water. We use less land, and we don't use any soil. That means we don't leach nutrients from the soil or soil erosion. And in terms of social impact, I've already started doing some training for a couple of people who've seen us online who have come through. But because of the COVID pandemic, unfortunately, we haven't kicked that off properly. But I can safely say I've trained about 4 people over the last few months. So the biggest tip I can give to any entrepreneur, especially hydroponic entrepreneurs, is start small. Don't be afraid to start. Start small, trust the process. It might take a long while for you to reach where you want to reach, but it's better to have the knowledge of what you're doing before you expand or loan money or anything like that. So that is my biggest tip, and that is what I've tried to do here at VitaGrow.
My first question to you is, I would like to know what your business is most sensitive to.
Okay, so my business right now, the things that it's most sensitive to is basically, let's say, climate. Okay, so right now we sell fresh produce, right? So in things like times like winter, for example, not many people would have lettuce. People would go more for the hot stuff and all of that. So that's right now, that's the biggest thing that we're sensitive to in between seasons, to try and make sure that we can always push the same volumes throughout the year.
Okay, and in comparison to your competitors, as you know, Eagle's Nest, we are targeting export market.
Yes.
How would you compare yourself to your competitors, and how do you see yourself being able to sustain the demand for your product on an international scale?
Okay, so compared to my competitors, like we do fresh produce, all of us, right? But I would say my advantage is that we're a more sustainable business. So most of my competitors, let's say they're farming in the ground, let's say they can put up a hectare of whatever it is. So as soon as let's say it's cabbage, as soon as they harvest that, they're going to have to wait another 5 weeks, 6 weeks to be able to harvest again and supply the market. But for us, we stagger our growth, and because we use all these systems going up, so that means every single week we try and make sure that we can supply the market all the time. So we have less gaps in terms of that.
My question for you is, in terms of market readiness and also your costing, would you say that your cost of production is lower than one who does normal agriculture as opposed to hydroponics?
So at the beginning, hydroponics is actually a very cost-intensive or capital-intensive venture, because you actually have to put up the structures and the systems. But I would say once you have the infrastructure and the systems, the cost of goods will be less than someone doing it in the soil. So this is because, number one, we don't have so much labor. Like there's no tilling the land, there's no weeding for us. So our labor, one person can actually man quite a big piece of greenhouse. And another thing is the usual things that we've always been talking about, like water. We recycle our water. So we don't use so much power pumping bores, installing bowls and stuff like that. And also our nutrients, we don't use manure, we don't use a lot of the things that normal soil-based farmers have to do to prepare the land. We don't use that. We introduce all our nutrition through the water.
All right, so would you say that your produce is significantly better than the normal produce that comes from the land?
Yes, I would definitely say that. So why I say that is I've compared the two, and we've done a few trials. I mean, it's always subjective, but through the trials that we've done, we've seen that our hydroponic produce is a bit fresher, and definitely it's cleaner. So for example, our lettuce is never in the ground. So if you see in the shops, sometimes you might go and find a head of lettuce with some worms in it, or some soil, or some residue of some sort. But ours, everything is above ground and in pipes. So definitely it's cleaner and healthier to use.
All right, George?
All right, hi Keith, how are you doing?
I am good, thanks. How are you?
Keith, when you say a bit more healthier, where are you getting these stats from?
We don't know all these figures yet, which is why I'm not quoting any figures or anything. But just generally, from anywhere or from anyone who knows, pesticides are more harmful. They're actually harmful to human beings in the long run because they contain a lot of different things. So I do not have a figure or anything, but I know from farming that the less pesticides you use, the healthier the crop is.
Okay.
So in the future,
all right.
So in the future, we're going to work on getting figures and proper stats to actually account for all of this.
All right, so for me, I would say, Keith, I like your business model. I believe there's a lot of prospect for it. I know hydroponics is a growing trend globally. And I believe that it's something that can be scaled easily at relatively low cost. So I think there's a lot of scope for your product. A lot of research needs to be done in terms of the certification side, in terms of standardizing your output. But I think you've done the hard work so far. For me, I'd give you a yes.
Thank you very much.
Keith, so far from your presentation, there are definitely still a lot of loopholes that have not been addressed, which I feel if you really dig deeper, you will find that there actually is a great demand for niche products which are grown in the environment that you're creating. And if you pursue that angle of providing into that niche market, I feel you definitely would be able to compete on a regional and international scale, but you need to be willing and able to put in the hard work that's required. So for me, right now, I'll give you a yes.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
Wow, Keith, 2 yeses, and One thing I found in you, especially the first time you came, I gave you a yes on condition that, you know, you'll up your game and you'll improve in a lot of things. And I'm really happy and I congratulate you on your partnership with other people who you've gone out to actually partner with so that you can grow the business. So for me, I believe you're onto something, and definitely if you really put time to actually research more and find out exactly how you can maximize, you know, have stacks of rails going up. I saw you at a certain level in your greenhouses, but have shelves so you can actually begin to utilize the space going upwards than just vertically. So for me, it's a yes, and I want you to push a whole lot more because the competition is going to get a lot steeper. So you have to definitely pull up your socks and do the best you can. So for me, yes, congratulations.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. We'll work on everything and hopefully I don't disappoint you.
Thank you, Keith.
My name is Clive Nyapokoto. I'm in the business of growing herbs and spices. I'm growing herbs and spices in Marondera at our 5-hectare plot. This plot has a capacity of producing more than 5 tons of herbs per year. We are currently selling them locally, but we have an opportunity to expand and sell in the international markets. I grow these organically without using any artificial chemicals. As you know, herbs have become part of our lifestyle because of the pandemic, and most people are preferring either to use herbs or spices in their everyday cooking or consuming them as teas. We've managed to engage the community members in our rural home in Marondera as outgrowers. These have also increased our production capacity, and we are looking forward to increase up to 10 outgrowers by the end of this year. We are currently working with student interns from local universities and colleges, and these have helped us a lot in terms of the day-to-day operations on the farm. They have provided their skills, their labor, as well as their university knowledge to upscale our production and the quality of our products. Growing herbs and spices is not something that we can say is very difficult, only that you need a bit of training, of which we have been training people, communities I can say, empowering them on knowledge and skills on how to grow and process the herbs and spices. It is something that is easy given that the herbs and spices, they don't get much pests and diseases. But as long as you have a good compost and good source of manure, you can do the growing of herbs and spices.
Thank you for your presentation. I've just got a few quick questions to ask you. What are your current numbers in terms of sales, and what's your distribution channel?
All right, thank you for the question. Right, in terms of sales, currently I can say I'm selling about between 2,500 to 4,500 US dollars per annum. And in terms of distribution, we are currently present in the local farmers market. We have Masdog in Belgravia. We have also Old Stables, that is in Borodale, and some walk-in at our Harare makeshift office that is in Waterfalls.
Clive, I remember the last time you came and you did your presentation. I was very impressed with where you were at that time, and the figures you gave us that you're making for 2,000 to 4,500 annually, which means you're making sales of about $200 to $400 every month. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. From the last time I saw you and now, I think I don't know, especially with the number of distribution channels that you have. Are those your realistic figures that you're making $200 per month?
Yes, those are realistic figures.
Are these sales
That's why
figures?
Are
these sales figures or after
yes.
profit?
This is after profit. Last time, remember, I also said we have other revenue streams that are adding to to our revenue base. In the process, we are also pushing to expand the production of herbs because we are only relying on the rain-fed agriculture, and we are trying to push more into irrigation. And hence, the cycle for some herbs, when you are using rain-fed agriculture, it won't complete. You harvest them prematurely. That's affecting. We are not able to actually meet the demand for other herbs that are required in the market.
Hi, Clive. My question to you is, how much have you invested into your business so far?
So far, I've invested more than $500,000 US, like in the whole business, Shift Organic Technologies.
Sorry, run that by me again.
So far, I've invested more than $500 US in the whole business, Shift Organic Technologies.
Okay, all right.
That's not familiar.
That's fine.
Like, yo.
How familiar are you with phytosanitary certification?
What can I say? The EcoSet, the agents are the ones who are doing like the checklist that we are working on, and everything on that checklist includes the phytosanitary and the
of your
chemical-free production, yes.
Of your nurseries. Okay.
For me, I can see that it's something that you've been doing and you've been working on passionately. Your video sadly also didn't do justice to the things that you're doing, but I do believe that there's a lot of scope and there's a lot of growth prospects for your business. For me, I would give you a yes.
I feel you're very knowledgeable on the technical side of what's needed in terms of production of the herbs, but you need more structure to carry you forward. And I would like to hope that Eagle's Nest will be able to help you continue to framework your business to help you get to your next milestone. So it's a yes from me.